What's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Stock Talk. This is a series I make whenever I feel it's necessary, where we cover some exciting news and price action in regard to some of the stocks that we've been talking about on the channel. In today's case, we're focusing on the EV sector, arguably one of the hottest sectors in the market right now. Saw some exciting price action today. Tesla up 7%, NIO up almost 20%, off the back of some great news that they both released in regard to deliveries. So we will take a look at those articles. We'll take a look at the charts. We'll also take a look at Nikola, which is one of the stocks in the sector that didn't do too well. We'll take a quick look at an article on Nikola as well, and then we have to talk about Workhorse because it is just an absolute runner. No articles there, but we will take a look at the charts. So before we do dive into this, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do gain value from it, or if you hold any of these stocks currently, and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here and want to catch more trading investing content like it. Thank you. Okay, so let's get straight into this. Tesla, again, absolutely ripped today, up over 8% on the day, gapped up pre-market off the back of some great delivery news, which we will look at right now, because we always have to establish the fundamental reasoning behind the move prior to actually getting technical. All right, so CNBC article, Tesla shares soar after reporting big beat on second quarter deliveries. Key points, Tesla shares soared after the automaker said it delivered about 90,650 vehicles. It's a lot of vehicles in the second quarter. That's handily beat Wall Street expectations as the electric car maker's sales withstood the economic downturn better than most competitors. So again, 90,000 vehicles, those are amazing numbers, especially considering the current macroeconomic environment we're in. So let's scroll down and read a little bit of this, just a few highlights. Tesla shares soared in pre-market trading Thursday after the automaker said it delivered about 90,650 vehicles in the second quarter, handily beating Wall Street expectations as electric car maker's sales withstood the economic downturn better than most competitors. Analysts expected Tesla to deliver 72,000 vehicles during the last 3 months, according to a consensus of analysts surveyed by FactSet. A broader set of analyst estimates compiled by Bloomberg set higher expectations, 83K vehicles in the second quarter. Shares of Tesla zoomed nearly 9% to $1,200 in Thursday's pre-market, a day after closing 3.7% higher to $1,119. So Tesla obviously ripping right now. It's been ripping. This is nothing new since the March lows that it set a few months back. It has just been absolutely running up to $1,200. It is at, let's check the market cap real quick. So market cap of $224 billion, massive. Just this past week, it did exceed Toyota Motors to become the largest auto manufacturer in the world. But remember, guys, obviously Toyota sells way more cars than Tesla. That is a fact. But Tesla is an AI company. They're a data company. They're a tech company, not only a car company. All right. So they're a tech company that happens to sell cars. Great cars at that. Again, I love Tesla as a company. I think they're the most innovative company in the world. I think Elon Musk is one of the most valuable humans on this planet, to be honest. That said, I do not hold any Tesla. I'm just going to be completely honest. If you've watched the videos, you know that. Although I love this company, there is no way that I can justify that it is worth $224 billion at this moment. But again, as I have been saying lately, we are kind of experiencing a paradigm shift in these markets to where, and it's not good or bad. I'm not going to say it's good or bad, but it just kind of worries me how inflated these stocks are getting off of not super great financials. Again, delivery news is great. Obviously, a growing company. The financials are still a little sketchy. We won't get into those into detail today, but Tesla has been known not to be the most profitable many recent quarters. So it will be interesting. I know they announced their Q2 earnings reports on July 22nd, I believe that's true. So it would be very interesting to see those numbers and their actual earnings and financial statements for Q2. So we will keep an eye out for that, probably make a stock talk following that. But again, I love Tesla as a company. I want to establish that. There's nothing wrong with a lot of these newer investors who are factually, it is obvious that a lot of these new day traders, a lot of new money that's entered the market over the past few months is putting money into Tesla. It's a cool company. It's an innovational company. Most millennials hold Tesla in their portfolio. And again, it's great that a lot of these newer investors are betting on what they see to believe to be the future, which I do as well. This stock just currently scares me. So let's kind of look at these charts. I'll just let you guys know what I'm seeing from a bird's eye view perspective. On all of these, I'm not going to get super technical. I'm not going to go into RSI or anything. One thing I have learned over the course of these past few months is that RSI, like stochastic RSI, even MACD and stuff, does play obviously holds value for day trading these. I'm a swing trader, not a day trader, if this is your first time watching. The day trading, the stochastic RSI, again, a lot of these technical indicators that you would traditionally look at, don't apply as much as they usually do. In my opinion, at least, they obviously apply, again, to some extent, but it's just not worth looking at. What is really important and what has really played out in a lot of these plays that I've observed, at least, is just general trend lines, like super easy general trend lines. And these have held strong in a lot of the positions that we've been talking about lately. So you see I have 3 trend lines drawn here. This upper one, obviously the line of resistance, bottom one, very low line of support. And then this middle one is what I feel to be the kind of the fair value area for Tesla. Again, it's used this point as support here, resistance, 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 support kind of, and resistance. But I feel like this is kind of a fair value line. I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla does see a pullback for it to bounce around the $1,100 region again over the next few days. At the very, I will say that I'm bullish on Tesla as long as it is above this lower trend line. Okay, so if you guys have TradingView, if you have any charts and you can draw on those charts, I do recommend, and you're trading Tesla, obviously, I do recommend you draw this lower trend line and definitely consider reevaluating your position. If you're planning on holding this for years and years, don't touch it, man. Set it and forget it. Because Tesla, again, believe in them long term for a fact. The short term, don't be surprised if we do see some volatility in the near to medium term. Long term, very bullish on the company. Great company. Love Elon again. And again, I think on the high side, it would be crazy considering, again, this sector is the hottest sector in the market right now, in my opinion, at least as far as to my knowledge, at least at this scale, right? Tesla is a multi-billion-dollar company, hundreds of billions of dollar company, and again, a lot of these other players are getting up there too. So I think at the high side, we could see Tesla scratch almost $1,400 over the coming, so July 14th or July 15th is when this hits $1,400. If this does keep absolutely running, keep in mind, you guys, the bigger the market cap gets, the more this company is worth, the more capital it will take to raise the individual share price. So the bigger it gets, the slower it will grow. That's just a fact. That's just how companies and stocks work. But I mean, this thing's an absolute runner. I love Tesla as a company, not trading it, but let me know if you're trading it and if you did catch it early, especially on those March lows. I mean, if you had calls on those March lows or even just a stock position, to be honest, you're in great shape right now. Congrats if that is the case. That said, let's move on to NIO. Again, we have a little report on NIO. They also dropped some great delivery news today. So NIO June deliveries jump 100. So NIO June deliveries jump 180%. Q2 sales exceed guidance. All right. NIO Inc.'s sales momentum continued in June as the Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer reported deliveries Thursday that nearly doubled year over year. Sorry, I forgot to highlight some of this, but I'll just read pretty much this part. NIO said its deliveries in June increased 179% year over year to 3,740 units, representing record monthly performance for the company. NIO delivered 2,476 ES6, sorry, there's a lot of numbers in here, ES6s, and 1,264 ES8s during the month. In May, the company sold 3,436 cars. For the second quarter as a whole, vehicle deliveries totaled 10,331 units, 190% year-over-year jump, and 170% quarter-over-quarter increase. So that is fantastic growth. I have played NIO a lot in the past. I actually just recently reestablished a position in NIO just considering this sector is so hot right now. And I do want to say I am. If you have watched my content recently, I have stated that I am bearish on the equity markets, but I also know one thing, even if I am bearish on the equity markets, I know for a fact that this market has a lot of players in it that love shiny objects right now, okay? And this sector, again, although I believe in it long term, I love the innovational qualities of it. I think these are great companies trying to do great things. These are factually shiny objects in my eyes. Like, these are the epitome of shiny objects within this market that are just sucking the capital of a lot of these newer investors who are gravitating towards these shiny objects. Okay, so that's, even though that is the case, that still means that the company is going up, whether the financials make sense or not. Again, this is great fundamental news for NIO, considering that year over year, I mean, pretty much doubled year over year. Sorry. So that's great news. NIO has had some shady. Again, I played NIO. You guys have to remember, almost since their IPO. I can't even, like, a year, 2 years back now. Time is funky right now. You guys know that, but. I have played NIO before. They have seen some shady actions, some shady news in the past, and you guys have to remember, like, I know that I'm saying that because, like, Luckin Coffee, which is a Chinese company that was recently definitely busted for straight up fraud. You have to be careful with some of these Chinese companies and these companies that are based in China, because Luckin was praised by even Wall Street to be the next Starbucks, or the Starbucks of China, and you have to be careful with what is considered to be the Tesla of China when they're talking numbers. Okay, so just take this information. Innocent until proven guilty, but just proceed with caution and understand that there have been Chinese companies that were praised before, about the same exact size as NIO in terms of market cap, which is about 8 billion, which we will look at. So just again, proceed with caution, but again, innocent until proven guilty. We'll go with that. All right, so I do want to read a little bit. The company attributed June's solid results to its competitive products, superior services, and expanding sales network. So, that's a very basic statement. In June, we achieved a historical high of monthly deliveries, contributing to our best quarterly performance. We appreciate the continued support from our growing and loyal user community, William Bin Li, NIO's chairman and CEO, said in a statement. Okay, so again, that's a very generic, it's a nice statement, very generic, though there's not a lot of specifics in there. But we'll just leave it there. That's great news for NIO. It will be interesting to see how they continue to grow and if they continue to do well. That said, again, a lot of this current market doesn't, financials and fundamentals don't mean much. It will be the catalyst for a significant move up or down, but for the most part, if this market sees a runner, they're gonna hop in. Okay, so as you can see, NIO again, like just over the course since May 22nd. So this is tracking back a ways. So a couple months, NIO's been absolutely running from a low of $3 back in May, now at $9. Cool 3x over the past month and a half. So NIO is following, just like Tesla. This is pretty much all I'm going to look at. Again, not really looking at RSI. On volume shoot, sorry, I forgot to look at volume on Tesla, which I do want to go back to real quick, because that is the other metric that I do look at. So volume on Tesla is significantly going down, and it's a lot lower than it was just a few months ago, okay? And that is actually bullish in my mind, because that means probably a lot of the short sellers and a lot of the people who are trying to short this stock are exiting it because they realize that this is an absolute runner and you don't want to mess with it anymore. So the volume going down for Tesla is actually bullish in my mind, and I believe that is bullish. The RSIs are a little high, but again, I'm not going to go over those in this video. Maybe for specific videos I'll get into that, but I want to keep this moving. All right, so again, back to NIO. Volume is looking really good on NIO, so volume is going up, which is also a good thing. I know I just said volume going down on Tesla is a bad thing, but just because Tesla's such a giant and like a megalith, I don't think it's a bad sign. I think that it will just continue to climb unless it pops. If Tesla does see a significant drop for some reason or another, maybe earnings on 22nd could be a catalyst. That's a big move, but again, always keep an eye on these trend lines, you guys. And NIO is following this general pattern, again, this trajectory. So we have this upper line of resistance at the very top, which projects just this over the coming weeks, over the coming couple weeks. NIO could hit $12. This wouldn't surprise me at all. Let's take a look at NIO's market cap again. I think I already said it, but it's sitting at a market cap of $7.1 billion right now. Again, Nikola with 0 cars on the road is at $24 billion. So, NIO could 3x right now and still be smaller than Nikola, to be honest. So you never know with this sector right now. Again, it's pretty much just if someone loves Tesla and they hear about NIO for the first time, they're like, oh, this is the NIO of China. I'm gonna want to get in on that. I'm gonna want to sell a little bit of Tesla maybe, or put in more capital to NIO. So I feel like that's kind of the general psychology. I don't guarantee that that's the case at all, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking. So I do think money will flood into NIO. Again, the bigger these stocks get, the more hyped up they get. They go on the Robinhood top 100 stocks list, top movers of the day. Traders find them, new money finds them, and they will go up. And again, NIO with the $7 billion market cap, that is relatively small. Obviously, Tesla, $225 billion market cap. NIO's an ant compared to Tesla. So there's a lot of growth potential. Obviously, Tesla is a larger company, but there's a lot of growth potential for these smaller cap stocks. Again, it will just follow this trajectory. This is what I feel like is a fair line of supports now, because it did use this line of support a lot over the past month. It did dip down it for a little bit, and then you could draw some other lines, but this is just kind of, every time I draw these trend lines, I try to be as conservative as possible. Obviously, you can draw them from the very tip to tip, very like lows and highs, but I just try to average them. Okay, so that's NIO. Let's move on to Nikola. This is the last article we will look at real quick. Classic Motley Fool article. So why Nikola stock is down today. I'll just read you guys a little bit of this. Nikola said on Monday that it has begun taking pre-orders for its Badger pickup truck, an electric dynamo that appears to exist only in prototype form as of right now. So again, Nikola, no cars on the road, $24 billion company. That's how this market works. While the company has announced some impressive specifications for the truck, we don't yet have all the details. The company has said deliveries will start in 2022. So again, Nikola's fueled on a promise. The vehicle will cost $60,000 to $90,000, and that manufacturing is expected to go through OEM partnership to be announced before early December. There have been some. So this, sorry guys, I didn't forget to highlight the last one. My highlights are just kind of getting messed up right now. My bad. There have been some interesting tidbits from founder and chairman Trevor Milton, including this on Thursday. So Trevor Milton is slowly becoming the new Elon Musk. Obviously, Elon Musk is way more of a character. I would way rather have a beer with Elon Musk. But Trevor Milton is just becoming kind of the face of Nikola Stock. He is trying to rival Elon Musk. Trevor Musk, Nikola Tesla, you know what I'm going for there. But his tweet is, "I love news like this. Through the future announced OEM partnership, higher order quantities in their supply chain. Nikola Badger pricing has improved more than expected. They know how to purchase parts. Will pass savings onto all existing and future." Okay, so he's pretty much just saying definitely fluffing it up a little bit. I don't blame him. I do believe this guy believes in his company. He like Musk, is trying to do a great thing for this world. Everything is obviously trending electric in terms of vehicles. So doing a great thing, but this is also a vague statement. And this guy says OEM for original equipment manufacturer is the industry's term for an automaker. Is he talking about? Is there a signed deal in place? So again, it's a vague statement. We don't know, and I think investors are getting a little tired of the hint game. So I agree with what this guy said here. Investors are getting tired of these vague, just kind of blanket statements. There's no specifics in there. There's no numbers. And right now, this guy is really fulfilling the cliche that I just said earlier, that Nikola is living on a promise right now. They're kind of living on, and again, Tesla, Nikola followed in the steps of Tesla in terms of taking pre-orders for their Badger truck, right? Like Tesla did this for the Cybertruck a few months back, or like in January or something, where they took $100 deposits for the Cybertruck that is not in production yet. That's also a promise, but that is a great way to get free cash flow, right? You just get a bunch of people who pay $100, which is nothing, especially in times like these, because everyone's just getting money for free. You just get $100, and it's a free $100 in this company's pocket with literally no physical product. You're just buying the flex. Maybe if you get the screenshot of the receipt, you'll post it on Instagram or something. So I guarantee a lot of people are going to be doing that, and it's great cash flow for the company. So it will be interesting to see those numbers once they actually come out. But I think Nikola Stock, again, people are realizing that $24 billion is a ridiculous valuation, and it obviously is. I'm going to be honest, I am playing Nikola Stock right now strictly on the technicals, which is a rare thing that I'll rarely play stocks strictly on technicals. Aside from the fundamental reason that just the EV sector is hot right now, which is actually a pretty good fundamental reason, to be honest. It's actually a solid reason, which is, I guess, why I'm playing it. But from a technical perspective, I see Nikola printing this bull flag. It's kind of a descending. It's also kind of a descending triangle, or a bull flag, or a very elongated bull flag. But if there's another thing technically that I've learned from these markets, it's that these markets absolutely love bull flags, and I've been seeing so many bull flags in this market. So it would be nice if Nikola plays out this bull flag. I do hold Nikola calls right now, so if Nikola does break below this line at about $55, so it really doesn't have to, if it's down tomorrow again, I will have to reestablish my position and just call it a loss. But that's the game sometimes, you guys. And if it does break out, which I believe it will, another reason I think we could see that is because a lot of times stocks like this see two waves. I know you could say this wave back here was the first wave when they initially merged with VTIQ and became Nikola and actually had their IPO that way. But I do think that we could see a second wave in Nikola, although the valuation is crazy. Although they have no cars on the road, I just think that with the craziness in this market right now and the hype behind EVs, we could definitely see another surge in Nikola. So let's hope it goes up tomorrow. And again, if not, learn from your mistakes, cut your losses. And again, that's the game we're playing sometimes. All right, so Workhorse. Workhorse, another stock. I didn't want to do that, so let's zoom in here. Workhorse is another stock that is just an absolute runner. I don't have any news in regard to Workhorse yet. Let me try to focus myself. Sorry, I do that sometimes. It's irritating how it overexposes. Sorry about that. Anyway, Workhorse, absolute runner. I did post that video about a week or so ago talking about Workhorse, and it's just been popping off. I did mention that I wanted to pick up some calls, or if it does bounce off this low again up here, like over the coming days, I might pick up some calls. If it does fall below this lower line of support, again, like I'm saying, guys, if I do recommend you guys draw these lines of support, because they are very, like, super simple, but I've noticed in this current market they're very telling and very effective. So if it does drop below this line at about $18, I would be cautious. And again, you can like alter this line a little bit, go to like the ultimate low, which would put it at like, I mean, obviously it depends over the course, like as this expands and time goes on, it gets higher and higher. But if it does break this trend line, I would look for a pullback that applies to all the stocks we just talked about. But I wouldn't be surprised at all to see it hit, I mean, like $25 to $26 region over the coming week if it does continue to rip. So just be careful with this. Again, you guys, like, this stock has gone from $5 to $20 over the course of a couple weeks. That's a 4x in a couple weeks. So that is unsustainable growth. But again, we're in a crazy market right now. It wouldn't surprise me to see this thing just keep ripping, especially with, like I've been saying, how electric vehicle stocks are having their moment right now, and well-deserved. But that also means that the party has to end at some time. You guys just realize that all good things come to an end at some point. Not for good, but nothing goes straight up. That's a fact. Everything, what goes up must come down. Nothing goes straight up. You have to expect volatility, and we do see volatility here, but I do expect to see a significant pullback in this entire sector at some point. So just be cautious, you guys. Proceed with caution if you are wanting to get into this sector for the first time, especially. And if you are holding positions, never be afraid to take profits if you do see a really good day of profit, like if you were holding NIO or Tesla calls today. Or even stock, or a big stock position. Like, never be afraid just to reduce your position by like 10% or something. Take a little bit of profits. You still have the majority of your position if you do that, but you feel like if it does happen to drop down, you feel like you made a responsible play. Okay, so I always encourage taking some profits off the table. Play with house money, all right? So we'll call it there, guys. If you do want to know how I choose to play these stocks in the future, or how I'm currently playing them, you can check out my complete portfolio and daily newsletter down in the first link, down in the description. Exactly as it states, it's a complete breakdown of my entire portfolio. All call options, all put options, all stock positions, even cryptocurrencies if you're into that. Very bullish on cryptos right now, by the way. We'll make future videos on crypto and crypto stocks in the future. But yeah, it's exactly as it states. And then I do send out a newsletter during market hours of every trading day, talking about the trades I've made that day, new positions, closed positions. I do trade a lot of options, so know that, guys, if you do want to get into this. But I do have a large group of stock holdings as well. So I do update that every day, send out a newsletter talking about my thoughts on the market and the trades I'm making. So check that out if you're at all interested. If not, no worries. But we'll call it there, guys. Drop a comment down below if there's other stocks you're excited about right now, or if you're excited about these stocks and you think there's some news that I missed or anything. So always love learning from you guys. Call it there. I'll stop rambling. Until next time, take action, make waves. Peace. Later.